What up, what up, what up, what up, fam? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's a beautiful day. It's a good day. It's a good day. Let's get started. What up, what up, what up, fam? It's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful day. I'm here waiting on my co-host to get in here. I just put the link. I'm going to put the link right here again for her just to make sure we got it going on. Now I need to check Facebook online just to make sure we're showing up here. How you doing, Miss Smith? I'm waiting on our sister, Miss Carla Nicole, to come in here. Let me see and make sure we're streaming on all platforms the good way. All right, let's see. Hold on. I'm not going to have to do this every time. See why I keep saying only me. Public. All right, let's see. Forgive me for this, y'all. I'm just getting started on how to do this. Now, we're showing up on Facebook. I'm waiting for the Granddaddy Channel nigga. I'm waiting for my co-host to come in here. Today we're going to talk about the effects of cheating. Why do men cheat? Why do women cheat? And are the effects of cheating different for a man and a woman? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Why do women cheat? Why do men cheat? And are the effects of cheating different for a man and a woman? Miss Carla, let me see. Let me see this, make sure she got this, because I know that sis is normally never late. Okay, she got it. Well, I can't say she got it. I sent it. Boom. So, but like I said, we waiting on the co-host to get in here. Cheating. And this was Carla's idea. So I think she had talked about this previously. I think she talked about it earlier today. Here go the lovely Miss Carla Nicole. What's up, Miss Lady? How you doing?
I'm good, love. How are you?
I'm excellent. So let's let you decide. What made you want to talk about this subject right here? And what made you talk about this subject right here?
Okay, so I was moved this morning. I was kind of meditating because I know that a lot of people kind of struggle with cheating. Mm-hmm. I'm out of this realm anymore. I don't really, I think you saw my one post where I had told your group or whatever that I'm into miagamy instead of
like that
poly or mono. I'm just into miagamy at this point. And I just wanted to talk about the difference of how it affects men versus how cheating affects women. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I've had some men clients come to me and they're really struggling. I mean, psychologically struggling with the fact that their lady or woman or wife has shared her body. And I was like, let me meditate on this. Let me deep dive on this and let's get into it on this show, since we like to rant and rave a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's come up with a plan on how we can. Well, and then I can also get your feedback. I know you and I kind of have that, our own chemistry where you speak your mind and I kind of tell you where I'm coming from. And I just thought this would be a great thing to flow on. I mean, that's kind of what the motivation was.
Exactly. Well, I have a totally different opinion about how men really feel. I think men are stigmatized, but let's get started. Let's see. There's an old saying that men always say is different when men cheat and it's different when women cheat. And you know what it is we feel like when a woman cheats, she's emotionally invested in a man. And when a man cheats, he just getting a piece of meat, So I'm one to say men and women love to cheat. And I'm one to say men and women love newness. And I don't think a woman got to be emotionally connected to a man to cheat. I think that's almost men buying into women's game. Like it would take a lot for me to cheat. I gotta be no, you would fuck behind the 7-Eleven just like a man would, given the right circumstance. So what do you think about that? Do you think a woman, first of all, has to be emotionally connected to cheat? Or have you ever cheated? Or what do you feel about that saying that we say a man can fuck anything and he don't have to be emotionally connected to cheat? Because some men be emotionally connected when they cheat. That be the reason they cheat. The woman at the job, the work wife be nicer and sweeter and he fall in love with her. But what do you think about that, first of all, that a woman has to be emotionally connected to cheat?
So that's what I talked about this morning. I shared that it is oftentimes thought that women are just a conglomerate of nothing but emotion, that we only draw from emotion when it comes to intimacy and sex and connection. However, I wanted to share on my channel this morning that actually sometimes women are not connected in that way just because they're intimately involved with someone. And I feel like because we've been taught societally that women, of course, have emotions, I feel like it's overrated. And I feel like most of the time we'll see a woman and assume she's emotional, or we will see a woman and see that she's, kind of more open and free in her sexuality. And we automatically think, yeah, she's just a hoe or whatever. It's like, no, maybe she's sexually free. Maybe she doesn't have the confines in her mind about what sex is. And I always go back to the original pure state of what sexuality is. If you can remember when we first came to know that there's a joy there or pleasure, if you will, we'd start to humping and we would play house and we would hide under the covers with whomever we had a crush on. And we would get all caught up in that. It was no emotion. So a lot of times we're assuming all women are emotional. So I had to bring awareness to men. This is why I brought it up this morning, that just because your wife or woman or partner is sharing her body with a man doesn't mean she's sharing her heart with a man. It could just mean that it's a extracurricular activity that her and someone else shares, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she'll be at the ICU for him and make sure that making medical decisions for him, being all involved with him if something goes awry with his finances. She might not be that intimate in his life like that. This may just be something that they do and have a little fun with it. And she may go home and that's it. That's all. It's nothing more, nothing less. So I just wanted to bring men's awareness that just because a woman's sharing her body doesn't necessarily mean all women are emotionally attached to that man.
I totally agree with that. It's like I feel like you have your PhD in my mind. The way you be like, I feel like I kind of met my match, because it's kind of like when you look at situations, I think people have been used to women's narratives, and men create our own narratives too. But especially around emotions, like a woman is so. I think a woman is not emotional. I don't think a woman is emotional. I think a woman is very strategic. I think she's manipulative. I don't think those emotions that women are showing. My grandma had a saying that my grandma used to always say: "A woman cry her real tears in private." What you think about that?
I agree. Absolutely. And I want to, before we go into what grandma said, I want to also piggyback on a man and how he feels real quick, because I don't want us to assume that men have no feeling when they get involved with women sexually, because that's also an illusion, and that's also a way to divide the woman and man in intimacy. A man has to feel something for this woman, even if it's just for play. He has to feel a connection sexually with her, or he has to feel that he's moved by her physically. There has to be something there for him to be aroused. I mean, get an erection requires for him to be moved by her beauty, by her mind, by something
Her
that's making him
body.
want to, her body. Yes. So all of those things have to be a reason why a man will rise to a woman, if you will. And so
You
I
know,
don't want us to say that a man isn't always disconnected, because if that's the case, there wouldn't be a marriage happening. There wouldn't be people connecting and moving in with each other. There wouldn't be partnerships if men are only connecting to women just for sexual pleasure. I
there
do
wouldn't be
think there
men.
are, and I think there's seasons involved in where he's at in his mind, heart, and soul. If he's in a season where he's like, man, I'm just chilling, look, I've had enough. I've invested in a woman. She hurt me. I'm cool. I'm just going to have my fun and women. That's one season. But that doesn't mean that that man will never come to find himself in a scenario or in a connection where he's like, I'm kind of feeling her lightweight.
Yeah, that's when men leave their wives. When men feel those connections, they leave their wives a lot. And sometimes men tough it out. It's just a situation where the whole thing that this man is this brute animal that can get hard off anything. It's almost like saying, when I look at it, it's like, okay, well, this woman works with this man. And she may not be as attractive as his wife, or she work with him. She bring him lunch every now and then, and she understands and she listens, and you know what I'm saying? That's what it's saying. The work wife came from, you know what I'm saying? It was work wife before it was work husband. You know, now women say my work husband, and that's cool, you know, but it was work wife first. So it's like, this man could love his wife and want to cheat on with this woman because she's doing so much emotional for him. And I think that's what a lot of times people confuse, that women need the emotions to have sex and men don't need the emotions to have sex. I want to talk about why I think society and why we feel like we feel, because I don't think it's an issue like we make it. I think it's us. We say it's an issue. Now, peep this, what I'm saying, and follow me. Men are taught from our childhood that you can have all the women in the world, and then when you get married, you're giving up a lot. You're giving up all the women. Women aren't taught from their childhood. You can have all the men you want, and then finally you're gonna have to give up men. So it's kind of like men look at when we finally give up all the women for one woman, we want her to be loyal to her because we've given up everything for her. Whereas on the flip side, women are kind of taught, girl, you finally got what you need. So it's kind of like, I think that's why we look at cheating the way we look at it. Like, men look at cheating like, or are taught or conditioned by society to look at it like, if I catch you cheating, it's an end all be all. You see what I'm saying? Whereas women more are taught, when you finally got what you want, you might not want to let that go because you may not ever be able to get that again. And whereas men can say, I'll get rid of this disloyal, untrustworthy woman because now I can go back and get all the other women again. What you think about that?
Right. I absolutely agree. And matter of fact, I spoke on this before, that if we're honest with our childhood upbringing, women have been conditioned to believe that she saves it for her husband, and it's wrong to be intimate unless she's married. So that is a branding in the mind of the woman. Early on, from the jump, they're taught that you don't get down within so-called dirty with a man unless you guys are going to be married or whatever. So a woman is thinking, oh, okay, I don't know anything about promiscuity or variety. So I'm now only confined to what? Boyfriends. So in the beginning for women, we have a tendency to understand relationships. Why? Because we are oftentimes we have more practice with relating, because we are taught not to give it up until we're married or in a relationship or whatever. So because of this, we as women have more practice with relationship. I had mentioned in another video that because we have a greater practice with relationships, 9 times out of 10, the woman is able to bounce back after the breakup. And the men have a really hard time with the breakup because he hasn't had a whole bunch of relationships. Has he had a lot of sexual conquest? Absolutely. Yes. But he hasn't had a lot of solid relationships. And 9 times out of 10, when you talk to a man and you ask him, how many relationships did you really have before you got married to your wife? And they have like this blank face, like, actually, she's my only real relationship. That might be a problem.
My first wife was my first relationship, and then my second wife. I've had 2 relationships. I never thought about it like that. But go ahead. This
is why I always invest in men and give you men some knowledge as to why you see women just getting out of a relationship and she bounces right back and into something else. And men are like complex, like, how do you do that? And we had this. Well, she's had some practice. She's already been in relationships before. So she understands, well, it might not work. Whereas men are taught, get your conquest out, have your variety, make a lot of love, see how many women you can get, ha, ha, hee, hee, everything's fun and all that. And then once he gives his heart to a woman,
he's serious.
And he's like, it's serious for him. It's serious business. He's not playing. Whereas a woman that you probably were with, she's probably had a multitude of relationships. Not that she was sexually active with all of them, but 9 times out of 10, if she was in boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, or she was living with a man in that relationship, or she was married before in a relationship. So women have a better practice with understanding men and women relationships may break up. And in the event that happens, they already usually have an exit strategy. Men don't.
You know what?
Men are really hurt.
It's funny you say that because as I sit here and think about it, I've had 2 relationships and both of them was marriages. Anything before that, I'm just doing my thing as a man. And as I think about it, the way men, we look at it like this. Yo, I don't think women don't realize that things that they give in relationships are intangible. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Shit women say, if you ask a woman, what can you offer me? They say shit like love, respect, loyalty, intangible shit. Shit that they ain't really giving a motherfucking thing. Women don't give shit in relationships. Let's just be real about it. You know what I'm saying? Women are the receivers from relationships. So it's like, while she giving love, respect, loyalty, intangibles, these invisible things, men are giving all of their resources. Men are giving, women don't realize we are in protection mode 24/7. I don't sleep when I'm at home. I'm looking at the fucking alarm. I'm looking at the cameras around the house. It's like we're giving protection. We're giving our life. So we like, okay, we know deep down in our heart, when we finally get serious about a relationship, we like, okay, bitch, I'll die for you. Here I am. I'll die for you. I'm your man. This is us.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like you said, the men tend to have more of a hard time dealing with it. And especially it's an ego thing. Because I know in most relationships, and most times when men are cheated on, a man gonna ask one question. And what is that question when a man gets cheated on? What he gonna ask? What you think it is? Do you love him? And what else? Was his dick bigger?
What's the other thing?
You ain't gonna ask, was that dick bigger than mine?
I never even thought of that, but that's a man question. I wouldn't. Right. That's always the question. Yes, it's always connected to love. Yes.
You gonna ask this you love him? Number 1, do you love him? You suck his dick. And then here it comes. Was his dick bigger than mine? She be like, I couldn't even suck his dick because it wouldn't even fit in my mouth. And he be like, oh, bitch, what you mean his dick wouldn't fit in your mouth?
Right. But again, this is why I tell men, and I don't know if you've been paying attention. You need to get on my Patreon because you know I have a lot going on over there.
I am. And I need to see how you run it.
My Patreon, I have a whole system for just men called Loyal T, T-E-A, T. Loyalty, like you're slipping tea.
Yeah.
And I talk about 5 ways that your woman should be protecting you. 5. Hear me out. This is vital. A woman should protect your reputation. A woman should protect your purpose. A woman should protect your peace. A woman should protect your finances. And a woman should protect your sexual urges. Now,
give us a quick synopsis of each one real quick.
So when I say a woman should protect your reputation, your name as an example, your last name's Clark, which we might be related, by the way. I haven't told you about that yet, but your last name is Clark, right? That's your name. That's your legacy. That's what you stand on. When she walks out the door, she's a representation of you. So if someone is in even your family, your realm, your friends, if they're bad mouthing your name and it's within her earshot, she gets onto it and says something to your protection. Hey, look, I don't know what you have going on with him, but what you're not going to do is talk wreck about my man when he's not here to say something in regards to the scenario. So let's drop it right here and now. That's protection of his reputation. One example. 2, purpose. How do you protect a man's purpose? You make sure to find out what his purpose is. And then you go into a whole strategy to protect him from distractions. As a matter of fact, if he's writing, if he's got things to do, you're not trying to get his attention and, babe, you never spend no time with me. None of that's in place because you're making sure that your man is getting his purpose done. So regardless of how you feel in your heart and mind and soul, oh my God, he's not looking at me and giving me compliments. He is busy. He's working on his writings. He's working on his passion. Let that man be. Let him be busy on his purpose and protect it. Don't let any other outside distractions, including your kids, get in the way of that. 2. Now 3, protecting his peace. I went over this yesterday. A man's inner peace. Sometimes he has storms and stuff going on in his family. As an example, he might have a sister that's always constantly calling him for some drama with her baby dad. And he's got to keep going over there, getting in correction mode to deal with her baby's father and her. And then he's always coming home stressed out. You, as a protective woman, gets a hold of her and sits down and has a conversation. Look, I understand y'all got stuff going on, but what I'm not going to allow is you to keep calling him to bother him while we're at home in our peace. You need to figure out some strategies to get some resolutions here, because what we're not going to do, because I'm his woman, what we're not going to do is allow your nonsense that you allow in your home to come over here in ours. That's not going to work. That's another example. Protection of his finances. So say, for instance, your man has stuff going on and he has a business plan. And say, for instance, strategically, he's trying to figure out ways to cut corners and figure out ways to slice some expenses. You go over and start researching. Well, let's see, he's got these expenses. What apps are he using? What are these different things he's got in place? What tools is he using? Let me see what tools he can use that's not so expensive. Let
me shave off this goddamn $300 wig.
Yes, right.
Go ahead. What do you think about that though? Cutting back on some of her own luxuries. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. That's a part of that. That's also a part of protection of finances. Absolutely. Because we're a team. And so me having to get my nails done, as an example, when COVID hit, I had to cut off going to the salon, getting my nails done. I taught myself how to do my own nails. That expense is gone. You're talking about $45 to $55 every 2 weeks is gone out of the realm of my expenses now, because I was like, I'm going to learn how to do it my damn self. I'm tired of paying these people. So as an example, what can I do to help him? He's got all these expenses going out to buy out for example. Let me help him and let me set aside some, some meals where I'm taking care of his meals instead of him keeping, as an example. So she's curbing a lot of his finances so that he can have more in the savings or in his investing, or, even for him to have more play money. Just protection of his finances. And last but not least, his sexual urges. I don't like women to tell him husband, man, mate, lover. No, that is absolutely unequivocally unacceptable.
Yeah.
A man is coming to you for sexual desires and sexual urges for you to help him to go through his own turmoil inside self. Sometimes men need intimacy, not for just ejaculation. Sometimes he needs to be held, felt, appreciated. He needs to know that you care. He needs to just release so that he can get back to his creative space. Sex is not just about intimacy, just to be in that joy. Sometimes it's about creating. And when you actually build a creative energy in doing that. So those are the 5 ways to protect a man. And that's why I keep telling men to not only consider yourself the protector, but your woman better be protecting too.
Yeah. And you know what? Everything that you said is just summed up, and just what I think is the common sense of a woman. I think, but it's not. It's not.
It's not common.
Like the common sense of a man is just like, you know what I'm saying? It's not common. And so, it's funny because we got all these relationship podcasts, bad. But this is just the stuff people need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Are you ready to shave back on some shit so your man can grow his business? Are you ready? Yeah, are you ready to make sure this man balls is filled? Are you ready to make sure
he's getting rest?
How you carry yourself out in the community when you at parties or when you go out, you know what I'm saying? I like that, Miss Carla. So check this out.
Okay.
As a woman, I say all the time, I don't think women care about cheating as much as men. I think women care about losing their spot. Meaning, I think women, because I see women all the time doing research and doing detective work and finding out their man cheating, but they never leave. So I think they be more concerned about losing their spot. Like if you think your man cheating and then you fuck him raw and suck him raw, it's like, do you really care? Do you really care? Or are you more concerned about, okay, will he leave me for this woman? And that's why I have an open relationship in my life. I feel like you should always be open and honest. I don't have to worry about losing my home, my children, my family. I want to talk about myself personally.
Okay.
Because I just don't think it matters to men like we act like it matters. I think we're supposed to act like it matters. Just like if somebody say, would you jump out here if you see a woman getting beat up or a kid getting beat up, would you jump in it? And we feel like with this heroism, we supposed to say, hell yeah. I'm not. I'm not jumping in the water saving no motherfucking body's child. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not jumping in the water. I'm just now in my mind. Now, I don't know if I would, but in my mind,
will.
The way I'm
black man, you're going to. It's automatic.
The way I know, I'm telling you. Listen, when I say the programming, when I went viral on a video, I went viral for making a video for saying, if you're not my fucking woman, I'm not protecting some random fucking female out and about. My little sister, I've told my little sisters, if you get in a fight with your boyfriend, call the police. Because the police can come over there and legally shoot him, legally detain him. I can only come over there and get killed. So I think, like you said, when you come to protecting your man, I think that's one of the biggest things that need to be doing, protecting his fucking life.
Absolutely.
A quick scenario.
Okay.
Me and my wife was at the movies one night, and there was some young kids behind us, and we were watching a movie, and my wife kind of like, was getting irritated. So she kind of, you know what I'm saying? I said, chill out. Them some young kids, just chill the fuck out. You done been in a movie with people talking before. And then they got kind of loud. And then my wife kind of turned around like, and one of the kids said, fuck you, bitch. Fuck is wrong with you? And I kind of turned around. I was like, well, look, let's get out of here, Chris. And as I was standing up to leave, this is her can't control her fucking emotions, and said, that's all she said. He like, fuck you, bitch. Now I'm in a situation that I gotta protect my wife. So my mode of protection now is, let me get the fuck out of this movie theater. I'm not looking at it like I'm being a punk. It's 7, 8 little kids, and when I say little kids, I mean teenagers.
I get it.
So I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. And as I'm getting up and I'm walking out, one of them was like, oh, that's Grub. That's Grub's kitchen. Oh, he good, man. Leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? And then we sat back down. So it was just as my reputation protected us. But we was about to get the fuck up out of there. So it's a situation where, as a man, there are certain rules and certain things we're taught that we should do. We shouldn't hit a woman, but I might knock the fuck up. And I'm gonna be honest, at this stage in my life, I'll knock a bitch out. I swear to God on my life. Now listen, they say who hurt him. I'm being honest. I've been hurt enough by women who've tried to destroy my motherfucking life, that if a bitch do something to me again like that, I'ma flatten that bitch live on World Star Hip Hop. I would knock a bitch out. I'd have had a woman I'd have had a woman go downtown on me and make shit up. You see what I'm saying?
I believe it.
My life fucking with these women and they jealousy. So at this point in my life, I'm gonna knock a bitch stone the fuck out. And really, I kind of want to knock a bitch out if I get the opportunity to. I'm just being real. And when they say who hurt you, women, motherfucker. Fuck is you talking about? I hate when people say that. Who hurt you? I ain't mad at women because no motherfucking man hurt me. And I'm the type of guy that's, I've kind of had my way with women, but just the things that have been said where women have tried to besmirch my character, you know what I'm saying?
Didn't I just say that about reputation? That's why I said that.
I'm the next bitch to do that to me. I'm gonna knock your motherfucking ass out. And I hope, and that's the real. I knock a bitch out cold now. Straight up.
No, but I don't want you to do that, because I know that you have too much of a high purpose for you to do that. I know that sounds good. It feels good. I know it feels good to say it.
I got to tell you, I'm knocking.
I know it feels good, but I don't want you to do that. But what I do want to say is this: sometimes I think that we lose sight on the fact that strategically in our minds, when someone is, I don't know, in the scenario you are in, they oftentimes get to the point where they believe, if I get up and walk away, then I'm looked down on. Mm-hmm. But you looked at it as, we don't know if these guys have firearms.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm outnumbered right here. And it's not worth it. So you weighed the situation and you felt to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to put myself and you in harm's way. Let's just sum this up. We can come at another time and be good. Walking away in that scenario, I commend you for, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to stay here and have all these young punks that you don't know have firearms or not. And there's not enough I'm sorry's. I always say that. When in a scenario I'm in, there's not going to be enough I'm sorry's. So let me just go ahead and die and just get rid of this whole scenario and walk away. Beautiful idea that you did.
So let me ask you this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I said all that. I kind of got carried away because I was just being honest. But I said all that to say there's a certain heroism, a certain ascribed quality that a man's supposed to have. We supposed to jump in front of the train and say the kid. We supposed to jump in the lake and say the lady. We supposed to be this hero. We supposed to give our life. And what I'm saying is, men say there's that pressure on us to say we would save the kid, or that pressure to say we wouldn't hit a woman. So I was saying I would hit a woman in this point. I was setting that up, the caveat to say, I don't think men care about cheating like we act like we do. I think there's a pressure on us to act like we do. Meaning this, I believe, because every man, I ain't gonna say every man, but I don't believe monogamy is a real thing for men and females. Like you said, I don't believe monogamy is natural at all. I just don't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
So
what's your reason why you don't believe it's natural? I'm just curious.
Like you said earlier, when you go back to the beginning, humping the rug, humping the teddy bear, humping your cousins that you know you ain't supposed to hump. And if you're too young, before you know it, you can come in the room and you can catch two little girls humping. You catch two little boys humping. That's why I don't believe it's real. That's why when I was a little boy, I can just recall little girls saying, "Who your boyfriend, Javon?" And then they ask Keisha, "Who your boyfriend, Javon?" And they ask Leslie, "Who your boyfriend, Javon?" And they be spelling my name, Javone. That's our boyfriend. That's our boyfriend. They don't care at all that Javon go with all three of them. And Javon can hold this one hand at lunch. He can hold this one at recess, and they don't give a fuck. It's when we get older and we start counting resources. That's when we start. Monogamy is not about a natural thing. Monogamy is about resources. One bitch want all the money. One bitch want the house. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe monogamy is a real thing. I believe people believe newness. I believe the saying mama's baby, papa's maybe come from the idea that you never know. 40% of DNA tests come out wrong now. So half the bitches lie.
I know. I heard that.
So if 40%,
the only thing about me is both of my kids look just like their daddy. I didn't get no. I mean, my kids look like the daddies, so I didn't get that. They're 100. But if I'm honest with you, this is what I was going to share with you. This is what I was telling the people this morning, because I was going in on this whole topic, and I did really well on my live for the first time. I had like over 200 people, because of course I'm talking about cheating. And I always say this is my analogy with this. I believe that when you pull out caring about the container you're in with the lover you're with, you stop holding allegiance to that thinking. What I mean is, when you just allow you to develop into whatever we're going to become, we don't have the restraints. So when we get off of being mono or poly or whatever, and we just see what we're going to be and allow us to become whatever we are, we take off all chances of trying to make it what we want it to be. Most women, if I'm honest, we have a tendency to get caught up and swooped up into monogamy because it has been conditioned that we are. And what I said on the podcast this morning, or on my channel this morning, I mentioned that women get mad when when their man cheats, and men get hurt. So what I mean by that is, when women find out their man is cheating, they get mad. And you're looking at them like, what are you mad about? Well, they're angry because their ego is bruised.
Yeah.
Women are more competitive than men in this department. I'm just going to be honest. I know it doesn't seem true, but it is.
Oh, I believe you.
We have more to be upset about when we see that he's over there with that woman that we have an issue with. It's like, dude, why are you this angry? Because if you notice, all these divorces that are going out, 9 times out of 10, the wife is angry about the husband messing with whatever her name is, or whomever the other women are. And so you look at it and you're saying, well, so you're mad, but what are you mad about? Well, your ego's bruised.
Yeah.
The men are hurt because they're thinking, when she opens her womb to another man, she's opening her heart to him. And so a man is seeing it as a heartstring. She has to, in order for her to be intimate with another man, she must love him or whatever. It's like, not necessarily. And then I always tell men, well, not necessarily, because some women might be intimate and not have any heartstrings. She just wants to hump on him. She likes him.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think the fact that whether we admit it or not, divorces have been incentivized? Because I feel like back in the day, a woman would stay because divorce hadn't got to the point where you get half yet. And
I think Trump's about to change that, but go ahead.
Yeah, a man's half won't shit. You know what I'm saying? Now when a woman catch her man cheating, if she divorced him, she can take half his empire. Before that, Grandma used to be like, you better stay because your ass gonna be out here fucked up without that man. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, well, if I leave him, I can get half. Do you think that now cheating has got to the point where a woman could sit back and say, you know what? If he does, I can leave and take half. So it really don't, you see what I'm saying?
This is what I always think, Javon, and I mention this a lot, that if a woman is divorcing a man, she had, I don't believe, really went into the marriage with love. When a woman dissolves the marriage and leaves with what they agreed to, there was love there.
So you saying if she don't try to take him for all this shit, she just being genuine?
Yes. But when she came into the relationship like, we part ways and I don't hate you. We just didn't work out.
Can we do a survey? Can we do a survey for the audience real quick, the watchers? I want all the men to answer this. If your woman came to you and said straight up, baby, I know for a fact as a man, you're going to want to hit some other pussy. I'm cool with you hitting some other pussy. And I would never leave you for that. However, I might get me sick. What would the man say to that? Like, just your honest answer. Just your honest answer. Because I really believe, me personally, I believe it's not about sex. The thing is, I want the person. You see what I'm saying? I believe if a person want that person, they don't give a fuck about that sex. Whether that person has fulfills them in different ways. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, my wife fulfills me in so many ways. I don't care if we never have sex again. Like, literally.
I love it. I love that.
People don't understand, when you've been with somebody 15, 20 years, sex is like number 15 on the fucking list of priorities. You know what I'm saying? I would rather come home and see my clothes folded than get some pussy. I'm serious.
You're getting to that season. So, and in different seasons of life, men change.
I don't think people understand that in relationships, sex is not everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee a woman, if you could be honest, and I think we're gonna somehow create the platform for men and women to be honest on. I think if a woman come home and said, look, I looked around, the bills paid, I got my little job, my man paying the bills, my house, my lawn straight, my kids straight, man, I ain't worried about that nigga dick, man. I ain't even worried about that nigga dick. I think it's just like in any other situations, when finances are bad, when stress is up, we create reasons to have a problem. It's like, it's no different than, we could be sad and no one is depressed on payday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're going to get you something for yourself. Like, no one wakes up on payday like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? My life. So I just really believe, like, literally, my wife does so much for me.
I love that.
And I've been under the thought process of being honest. If she ain't no virgin, I don't give a fuck anyway. Like, just being as a young man, I don't know if women do this. You tell me. I'm pretty sure I think this happened to me before. You know, when I was younger in college, not as a grown man, because now it takes for me to have a feeling for a woman to get hard off her. When you're young, you know what I'm saying?
We talked about that earlier. Right.
Yeah, like when you're young, I can fuck a snake. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of men out here taking these dick pills, because as the older you get, it take a feeling. So it's almost a situation where if a woman doesn't stimulate my mind or seem like there's some purpose with her, that I got a purpose for my future with her, it's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Because like,
intimacy won't come anyway. It wouldn't come.
The older you get, it's like, the older you get as a man, and when it comes to performance, the last thing I want to do is get with a woman and can't show up. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be something about her that's going to make me show up. You see what I'm saying? So I really feel like the older you get as a man, the less you value sex from a woman and then value the things she can do for you. As far as things, like I said, I'll come home and if my clothes are folded, I done put my clothes in the washer and I look up and open my drawer, my wife then fold my clothes. Man, that shit make me way happier than coming at me with the same old pussy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure she feel the same way. You know, with me coming to her with the same old dick that when I done washed her car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just think we put too much emphasis on something that's going to dwindle down the older you get anyway. People don't realize when you have been in a long committed relationship and you got a purpose together, you got dreams and goals and aspirations tied together. You're not waking up every day thinking about sex. You're thinking about, you can go. I never thought, like, I heard older men say, oh boy, I ain't touched my old lady in 3 months. I used to be like, that's a lie. How you go 3 months without sex? Now, I ain't never went 3 months, but
no,
it's easy. It's easy, you know, not being too personal. It's easy for me and my wife to go 3 weeks without touching each other. And we wake up one day and be like, damn, we ain't fucked in 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it ain't
but the connection,
oh my God, we ain't fucked in 3 weeks. It's not like
that. If you're honest with each other, and see, this is where I tell men all the time, this is the vitality of the relationship, is being able to share with your lover that you're with your sexual truth. When you can tell your mate, your lover, your partner, or if you have a conglomerate of different ladies you deal with, and you sit them down and say, listen, this is my sexual truth. I might be with you, but and we might get it in, and I might only be exclusive with you for a while or in a season where it's just you. But I'm not going to hold myself to only being into this realm with you, but just know that that's where I'm at. And I want you to know my truth, my sexual truth.
But do you realize the reason people don't tell the truth is out of fear, right?
Yes. And the problem with that is when you don't tell the truth, you cannot have the highest level of intimacy. What you'll end up having is a lot of lies on top of lies on top of lies that just become an avalanche of just deceit. When you sit back and look at how many times I can be honest and open with my woman, this is why you're able to be in the relationship you're in. And you just said out of your own mouth a couple minutes ago that you feel fulfilled. So again, if you're intimate with your woman and you can go 3 weeks without intimacy, let me tell you something. Because of that, that shows that your wife is giving you life-giving sex. So let me explain what I mean by life-giving. Some women you can just masturbate inside of.
Hold up, don't man. Smoke. My cigar, man. So you just humping her is like humping your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Some women, it's just, that's all you're getting. It's nothing coming from it. But I always tell men, and I would have asked you this before you married your wife. I would have said to you, Javon, when you're intimate with your wife, I'm talking about after it's over, we'll just say the next morning. Do you feel like you want to now become the best man you can possibly be because of this woman? Does she move you to want to be at your highest self? Are you driven to want to be create your visions and become the highest, best man on the planet now? Or are you just cool?
So do that pussy give me life?
Yes.
Give you that's I'm gonna make that a song, caller. That pussy give me life.
Yes, absolutely, because that's what you want. Javon, no one can say, if we're honest, no man can say he can go 3 weeks without being intimate with that woman if it's not life-giving. I'm just honest. There has to be something that is feeding you. What can we do with a plant and not water it? It's gonna die.
Let me read this.
When a man is being poured, when intimacy is being poured in your space, she's giving you life. She's gifting you life, and it's not creating children. You're just gifting love into each other.
I'm gonna explain that down from a man's point of view, but let me read this brother's comment real quick. He said, "I'm not saying I want another man smashing my lady, but damn, be discreet. Don't let me find out. Don't mess with the house's money, and don't destroy the life we are trying to build. I think women tend to believe outside dick is the same as the man not committed to her. That's the problem, I think. Now, what that man is saying exactly what I think grandma and granddaddy had. Look, out of sight, out of mind. I ain't snooping. You know, we got a lot of things now. Cell phones, GPS trackers. We got a lot of stuff. But like you said, when a woman got purpose, she ain't thinking about all that. I'll give you a perfect example of what you said about that life-giving sex. And it's almost like as a man, you get to the point where you don't want anything but that life-giving sex. In your younger years, you know, you might want some sex and
masturbate in.
Yeah, a woman could just bend over and give you some, and you be hitting it from the back, and she be watching Grey's Anatomy, and you be like, "Damn, you ain't moaning or nothing like you normally do." She like, "Nigga, I'm just giving you some." And
right.
Younger man, I'm like, "Hey, well, I don't know, but I need that nut. I'll take it." You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
As an older man and as a more mature man, the things that make me feel intimate. And this is just my personal life, but I'm, you know, we exposing being true. It ain't nothing wrong. When I come home and my wife got my daughter in the tub and she's brushing her hair and oiling her down, and my daughter crawl up on me smelling so good, or I see my wife just taking care of home and handling business, or a day that we go out and I got some business to handle, and you know what I'm saying? It'd be those days that something feel like some accomplished. It'd be like, and you feel this moment where you want to kiss and tongue kiss and make love, as opposed to just looking at her getting out the shower and seeing her body, and it's like, well, that's her body. It turned me on sometime, and sometimes her body. You know what I'm saying? It's like when my wife do something, when I see her up studying late, you know what I'm saying, I get horny. I'm like, look at this woman in here trying to get her PhD, working on her future.
It's her. It's the. I just told you, purpose. Yes, your wife is in purpose, and she's purpose driven, and it's feeding that sex drive of yours. Is what it's doing.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand it. It's like when you young, like you'll hump anything. When you young and you in college, you might be in a situation, and I don't know if women do this, but you might be young in your younger years, and one of your homeboys be like, "Oh man, I slept with Nicole the other day." He, was it good? He be like, "Hey, yeah, it was good. What are we gonna do? Go right to her."
Yeah, and that happens. Yes,
absolutely. Women do that. Like, girl, I slept with Paul, and you be like, girl, that's
absolutely. Well, because it depends. I always call it my playgirl years. I can't tell you what I was doing. I can't admit nothing. Allegedly, I was having playgirl years, and I was having a good time. Allegedly, and so in that season, you just really come to find that sexuality really is a season that you're just kind of in your freedom. And sometimes I feel like you have several different partners as a woman when you go through playgirl years. And I even said this about Tia Mowry before she got back with Corey Hardrick. I said, Tia, I said, okay, that's enough now. Get out of your playgirl years and go back home. That's enough.
And the reason that girl was gonna go back home, right? Everybody,
I called it. I did a whole video series because I do series on my channel called I Would Coach, which is about celebrities, any type of little, scenarios that's going on. And when she was going through her playgirl years, I said she's just trying to find her scent again. And a lot of times we as women, we have been indoctrinated to believe that we cannot be sexual, we cannot be sensual, we cannot flirt. When you're in a relationship, you got to be stiff. You can't show this, you can't do that. And I'm like, at this point, it doesn't make sense for a woman not to want to be in her femininity. And sometimes you are intimate with different partners to try to get back to your sensuality, so you can get back to being just intimate with the love or the lovers that you want to be with, and then you can get more grounded in your own creativity.
So let let me try to paraphrase this for you, because and this is what I like about me and your dynamic. What you just said, what I heard, and this is just common sense to me. A woman may go out and fuck so she can feel like a lady again for her man at home. Absolutely. And I don't think people understand this, and it's so clear. Like, your woman will put on some good ass perfume and go to work and sashay around for them niggas at the job to feel like I'm at home, because this is what I realized, right? And this is what people think I'm crazy. Women actually want to cheat and want more attention way more than men. And the reason I say that is because romance has been designed to sell to women.
Absolutely.
So women are always looking for this new romantic feeling, and you don't get that from the same guy. So women are always looking to fucking cheat. And I don't understand what people don't understand about this. And this is why I'm more of a opponent of saying open relationship, poly, because as a man, I know how dirty a woman will get. Now, let me explain to you what I mean.
Okay.
A married woman, like that twin girl, Tia Mowry, that was just a woman wanting to go out and get some dick and feel youthful and young again.
She was really technically robbed of her childhood because she was working early. Yeah.
Who was the girl? Boris Kodjoe wife. She came out and said a few years.
Is her name Nicole?
Yeah, Williams, I think. She came out a few years ago and said on live, I miss being dated. I miss being courted. My man don't run up behind me in the kitchen. And I just want some dick. And what I'm really saying is, what people don't understand is this, that I understand about a woman. As a dude who has, in my younger years, I take pride in fucking a married woman. In my younger years, just being a young man, like, shit, I got a married woman. Same way a married woman gonna give you anything you ask for, because number one, they buying your secrecy. They scared you're gonna blow their shit up. So a married woman will tell you, my husband wants to do this at home. I don't want to do it with him. Can you do it with me? A married woman will meet you behind the 7-Eleven and fuck you for excitement.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So a married man. So what I be trying to tell people, I feel like we need to go into this thing open and honest, because women act like that there's this narrative that women don't do anything and they just want to be married, and once they get a guy, and I'm like, no, I'm a dude that know how treacherous women are. And the thing about it is, they have more opportunity than men, because I'm a handsome guy, I think, but I can't just walk outside right now and just say right now, because men are more promiscuous as far as doggedly and will go. It's easier. If you walked out your house right now, by the time you get to the corner, if you want some dick, you got it.
Oh, absolutely.
You got it. And it might be on the curve. It might be behind the store. You got it. A man do like a woman can do. A woman can be in the locker room at the gym, stick her head out. Come here. And the man going in there. Yeah, whereas a man can't do that. So I tell men all the time, like, bro, you need to be honest with your woman up front and tell her about yourself, because maybe she'll open up to you. And if y'all really got some, that sex shit don't matter, because, man, women, woo, boy, y'all are amazing to me.
Well, here's the thing, and I say this all the time, Javon, and a lot of people might not understand this, but let me just say, Black men are very irresistible. So it's hard for us to not have a savory taste for you all. We love all of you Black, beautiful, handsome men. The thing is, though, that if you become a woman on purpose, you find yourself a little more selective as to who you deal with in that realm, because handsome ain't enough. Being cordial ain't enough. There has to be something about you that really moves a woman to want to see, well, how would you fit in my life? Number one. Number two, are you a man that truly wants to advance in this life? Do you know why you were born? Do you know why you're here and what you got to do?
Yeah.
And so once we know that this is a purposeful, sacred man on his mission to complete while he's here, that's a whole different understanding of how a man is driven to be his best self. And so that gives a woman motivation to want to be with a man. But the truth is, we do have opportunity. But I think that when you get out of your romanticism, this is key for me. This is what I learned, the difference between realism and romanticism really shuts down a lot of nonsense with women.
Yeah.
When a woman stops being so swooped up in romanticism, she starts to seeing relationships for what they truly are in their raw truth. Rather than being so caught up in your mind and you're not present, you want to see the relationship be what you see it to be all the time. So you're never really present with that man because you're always, I hope he does this. I wish we do this. When we get married, when we have this, when we buy that, when we go here, when we do that, all of that's in your mind. You're not present with that man at all. And then not to mention, not only are you not present, you're also romanticizing about who he is as a man. So let me be clear. Most women don't want the man's truth. They want the man's lies. Your mic is off. Can't hear you. Your mic is off.
Something going on with my system.
There you go. There you go. You're better.
My grandfather used to always say, if a woman like you, you don't have to lie to her. She'll lie to herself for you. So let me ask you this. Having said that, talking about reality versus romanticism.
Yes.
I like do one-on-ones with sisters, you know, and brothers. And I'm talking to this sister right now. And she is wrapping her head around the reality of something you just said. Now, let me explain to you what I'm saying. Okay. She has a guy that she's dating. It's romantic. All of the romanticism. But she's messing with a married man that has a purpose tied to her purpose. She was feeling bad about the married man and like, why don't I want to go with this guy over here who's romantic? He'll be my man, just him. I got my own man, blah, blah, blah. But this nigga ain't got no purpose. You see what I'm saying? So having conversations with her, I call it reflective discourse. I don't call it therapy. I'm just having reflective discourse. I'm showing you back in the mirror. And she came to the conclusion that she would rather be the married man's side chick because they have a purpose. She sees a purpose in her life. She sees a purpose of them, you know, have the same aspirations. Then she would rather be this married man's side chick for purpose than she would be this man's number one who has no purpose. Is that what you were talking about when you said reality versus realism, or am I confused?
No, you're absolutely right. Because she got away from because what you don't understand, Javon, is women have been indoctrinated to be with men based upon, like I told you last time when we talked, the Disney theory, the Romeo and Juliet theory. All of that stuff we learned young, and we've been swooped up into believing that a man's going to come and save us. And it's just not realistic. And even, you remember we talked about me saying my dad got up with me every morning and all of that. Well, when a man does that same thing, you got to think about it. When a man is whining and dining you and taking you here and doing this and that, if you really are moved by his purpose, by who he is in his own existence and his spiritual growth, you hold back with even getting swooped up into that, because it's almost like drugs. Here, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. You come with me, I'll give you that. You hiding something.
So let me ask you something. That song, I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars
in the mountains. Yes. Yes.
In my experiences from talking to women, do women really want that romantic guy that does that shit? Like,
Well,
Because
I'll
it
put
seems
it
like
this
he
way,
gets cheated on.
Javon. It depends on the season you're in. Let me be honest with you, because I'm all woman. So I don't candy coat nothing. I'm very raw. I'm going to tell you, it depends on the season. So what I mean by that is I've been in a partnership for over almost damn near 12 years. Just in a
You say
partnership.
partnership, that mean a dude that
It,
you got purpose with that y'all
yes,
fucking.
yes,
Okay, okay,
absolutely. So
all
I've been
right.
in this partnership for over
You
12
married?
years. No,
Oh, okay.
no,
You're a goddamn
no,
lie.
we're
I'm
no,
playing.
no, 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 we're not.
You know
Yeah,
I
we're
got
not doing all that. No.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been so cool because we just have what we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I learned from doing all of this, I realized that, you know what? After all of that, I don't have to put on a facade. I don't have to, I can still go out with guys taking me out, making me feel feminine, hanging out with them, talking to them. I got guys I coach. I got guys I do energy body work on. And you know, I do the energy body work. And some of the men are nude on my table, fine as fuck, like
That like
gorgeous,
in the vibe.
handsome men. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work. So even though I do coaching, I also do energy body work. And so I do sound therapy, I do Reiki, I do chi on these men.
Like Ima.
Handsome. Pardon me?
That's a
Would you-
personal joke. Ima. That's like a mother, very motherly in a. It's thing. It's
Yes.
like one African language. Oma, Ima. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yes. So I do all of that with different men. And like it may be like one truck driver might show up, be like, hey, I'm on my way. I'm coming from Tennessee and it's 4 a.m, bro. Like that's early. But there's no reservations because at the end of the day, he understands me. And this is what I do. So because of that understanding in that partnership, we don't have a lot of reservations about it. But I do understand one thing, because I hold a certain care for men. A lot of times they just need the body work so they don't get it at home.
So
So
let me
I'm
ask
a
you
whole
break.
different reservation for that.
I'm sorry. Break this down for me because you said something that was very shocking to me. Well, not
Okay.
shocking to me, regular to me, because I have had friends that I've dealt with since college, that
Mm-hmm.
my wife has met. They come home for homecoming. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? My wife know I might go hang out with her. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be no sin
Absolutely.
at all, but just
No.
sometimes it might be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
You never
you said
know. Right.
something, so I understand that. So you
Right.
said you've been dealing with a man for 12 years.
Yes.
I want to ask you, for the woman that says, how you deal with a man that long and he ain't made you his woman or wifed you or made it more permanent. Explain that to me, because I can only think about the purpose, but explain that to the woman that's skeptic. Like, why you been dealing with this man this long?
Well, because there was a clear understanding from the jump. One thing I can say about him is he told me his sexual truth. He didn't lie to me. He told me what it was. And at the time, I had came out of a divorce and I was just trying to like get out of the car of life, told the spirit, listen, I'm done. Just use me for the rest of my days to help others. Just use me to service this country. Just have me do what I need to do while I'm here and be purposeful. So please just tell me what it is you want me to do to service this world at this point. And so
Mm-hmm.
I came to the conclusion that I'm not going to be confined anymore. I just want to be used to be in my spiritual purpose. So I got out of the car of life and said, God, you drive this. I'm done. When I did that, I asked, the only thing I requested from the spirit or God or whatever you understand it, whatever God of
Yeah,
your understanding,
yeah.
I said, give me what I need. I just don't want any lack in my life. So
Got
if I
you.
don't have any lack, then I'll be fulfilled. Now, mind you, I was an only child. I think I told you that before.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because I'm an only child, I'm not needy as far as suffocating and I have to have you call me and what are you doing and where you at? I'm not that woman. So if we have a relationship, we have a relationship and I'm not going to bombard you with why? What are you going? Where are you doing? It's not that. And
Okay, so
I've learned that marriage isn't the trophy for me anymore.
I need you to
Marriage to
read that
me
question right there real quick.
what it is. Okay,
I
what did
need
he
you to
ask me?
read that, and I want to ask you a question while you read that. Well, I want to paraphrase something because what I heard you say. Now,
I do
this
have a son, yes.
okay. Now I'm gonna get that brother to ask why. I'm gonna bring him in if he can and ask him. I'm gonna put the link up, because it is a show. I want him to get to ask you his question of when he asks you, do you have a son and why, and you get the answer. But I want to explain something to you real quick. This is what I heard.
Okay.
In a nutshell, you just said, and I want you to answer me because this is what I heard, and I'm going to paraphrase you. Am I correct? In a nutshell, you just said, I'm happy single.
I am.
Okay, now let me break some down for you because that's what I heard. Now, we're going to have a show for women because when women say they're happy single, I'd be like, you a goddamn lie. But from what you just explained and the way you broke that down, spirit, God, whatever, give me what I need for this phase in my life. Now that you've made your life about your purpose and that you stop trying, you say, God, spirit, give me what I need. This 12-year relationship you've been in has been what you needed and it fulfills you. Now, if something else comes along that you feel like can fulfill you more or that you need more, you will bust a move. So what you're saying is, I'm not so caught up in having to have it in the package the way the world says it has to be packaged. I'm focused on my purpose, so the men that I encounter are going to be purposeful in my life.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say this. We pretty much have agreed that we're going to be in each other's life. So I explained to men that are somebody that I might spend some time with. It may take me out and wine and dine me and all that. I'm clear. I don't play games. I'm like, listen, I have a man in my life for real. Like he's here and I'm in his life. So I don't play games. I'm very crystal clear about what's going on, so that a man can agree to disagree or be okay in what we're doing and understand I'm not holding you hostage here. So we can vibe.
So you're saying the last thing is you have your purpose with all your coaching and everything you're doing, what you're giving to the world. The last thing you need to do is fall for some nickel slick, handsome motherfucker that's going to knock you off your purpose. And when you doing your classes, he got you somewhere laid up. You see what I'm saying? Ladies, look, can you explain this in because I need to clip this in 1 minute. Explain how you can be truly happy single waiting, because that's what you just explained. But I need to clip this. Give it to me, Carla.
So the best way you can be happy single is being on your purpose, becoming realistic. Get off the romanticism and become purposeful. Learn why you are here on the planet. Because once you realize why you are here on the planet, it will change everything. You'll stop holding a man hostage to becoming who you want him to be. And he can be himself. And then you can design your life around your purpose. Then when you're purposeful, F-U-L-L, you're wholesome. And now no other person has to do what you want them to do to feel fulfilled. You have everything you need.
That's the key to being happy single, y'all. That's the key to being happy single. I hear so many people say they happy single, and it's like, but you don't have any purpose. You don't have. I've never heard you say you're happy single. But I've never heard you say I'm happy single, but everything.
Well, and let me also
use that.
And let me also say I'm out of the season for procreation.
Yeah.
So that's another huge thing. I'm 52 years old.
You can have a baby. You like Halle Berry now. You can still have a baby.
But I shut all that down. I got the tubes tied. This and burnt and clipped. I'm done. But I will say this.
Not I.
I clipped the it's a wrap for me.
Yeah.
But I did what I did. I did my duty. The gentleman asked if I have a son. Yes, he's 17 or will be 17 in May. I have a daughter that's 25. She's gonna be 26. I have a grandson that's 6. So I have my, I did create and procreated, yes. However, since I'm out of the season of procreation, I realized that in this in-depth life, now that I'm doing my purpose, I need to make sure that I hold a certain reference to men,
Mm.
because I know men are out here hungry. They really want to understand women. They really want to understand relationships, and they want to be fulfilled. And I keep telling them, I know you're drawn to women, but turn inwardly to self and get really focused on that.
Miss Carla, it's funny because jokingly, but this is just something I feel is truth. God made men, like you said, your procreation years are over. God made men can make babies up to their 90. I feel like God was literally saying, because women are the nurturers and teachers of the child, women actually are who pass our culture down, whether people believe it or not. Women are the procurers of culture, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And wisdom
Absolutely.
is passed down. So I really believe God said at a certain age, 51, 52, shut that pussy down, menopause, sit your ass down somewhere and be an elder. I really believe God, that's what God said for women. Sit your ass down. You can't make no more babies. Sit your ass down and pass this wisdom around and be an elder. It ain't about
I know you're going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh at this, but do you know I coached a gentleman and told him to get a vasectomy? I told him, I said, you have enough children. That is enough.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, not only do I want you to get a vasectomy, I want you to make your appointment ASAP. And he was like, really? I said, yes, you've done enough. That's enough. I think he has like 7 or 8 kids. I said, that's enough. You don't need any more children. And at this point, if you keep going, like, you're going to end up being broke. So I'm going to need you to just shut it down. So I will coach a man on some raw. I told you I'm very raw.
Yeah.
I will coach a man and be raw with him and say, shut it down, bruh. That's enough. This man went and got it done. So he listened to me.
Yeah,
that's like, okay. She shut me down.
Discourse. I've had a wonderful conversation with you today. We're gonna have to pick this back up. We didn't even get into the cheatiness much because you're just filled with so much knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And I think all of us are filled with this life-giving knowledge. I just think that a lot of us not willing to be honest and be truthful, about situations. I think society has kind of put a scorn on a woman that doesn't have a man. Like if you're not tied to a man, I remember there's a scripture in the Bible, Isaiah 4:1, saying the last days 7 women will run to one man and say, we have our own food, clothing, and shelter. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. So for that scripture to be so prophetic, it was written in an era when women couldn't own nothing. So that's such a prophetic scripture. We live in a world right now where a woman can go to a man and say, I don't need you for nothing other than the fact that you a man, and having you takes away the fact that I don't have one. I got my own food. I got my own bread. You look like you sitting in a nice house back there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a situation where when it's all said and done, I love the whole idea of purpose, and purpose is what keeps you happy outside of whether you have a man or whether you're in a relationship with a man. You would never be happy without a purpose. And I just like how you screamed it. I really love that. Is there anything you want to say to wrap it up before we get it out of here?
I just need you guys to just all of these viewers, please go and sign up for my Patreon. My Patreon is vital for men, women, because my Patreon is set up to where men can get the loyalty for real. They can get all the information that they need to understand women, to understand themselves. I've got audios over there, writings, I have videos. So I'm really big about making sure men understand it and get it. It's $24.99 a month for me. I mean, that's the best $25 you're going to spend. Now, also, I have a whole like setup over there called The Power of You, where I teach men and women how to tap into their self-love acts, learning how to love yourself.
So check this out, Miss Delise.
It's so important.
Put her information up there, Miss Delise Smith. Put her information up there, her Patreon, put her YouTube up there. And everybody, like I said, this is my co-host on Wednesday nights. I believe, I don't even fuck with podcasts like that. So I'm trying to get into this world, but I really believe that Miss Carla Nicole is somebody that I feel like through my platform, I want the world to hear her. Just watching her platform, I like her. I like how practical she is. I like I just like everything about what she's saying and what she's laying down. So she's going to put her information up, and I'll talk to you about what we're going to get into next week.
I love it.
All right. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. So until next Wednesday, stay tuned tomorrow night, 9:30, Ranting and Raving with Javon. And this is my special guest, Miss Carla Nicole. Peace out, y'all.